Hey guys, welcome back. So in the previous tutorial, we built this small dashboard with 3 different titles and a button. But if we click in the button, nothing happens. So there's no functionalities in our page. And the idea in this tutorial is to learn how to make it functional. So we're going to click in the button and something will appear below. It's a bit like writing JavaScript, but we are only going to use Python code. So let's go back to the VS Code and let's write some code. This is the code from the previous tutorial. If you didn't watch it, you can find the link in the description below, or you can just grab the code directly from Github. In the previous video, we learned that we need 3 different things to make our Dash application to work. So we need to initialize the app, we need to give it a layout, and we have to run the server. And today we're going to learn how to give actions or how to make our dashboard more functional. So we are going to use this button as an example, and the idea is to click the button and make a different title appear below. So the first thing to do is to give an ID to our button. So let's call it my button. And the next thing is to use something called a callback. And a callback is just a function that is automatically called when an input changes. So let's see that in practice. So we have to use a decorator. So we have to write the @ sign. And we are going to write app.callback. And if you're not familiar with decorators, they are just objects that allow us to modify functions or classes. And this is the way that we are going to communicate with Dash, and the way that we are going to give it an input, an output, a function, and wait for it to render the results. So let's start by giving it an output. So before we do anything else, we have to make one more import. So let's say that from dash.dependencies, let's import inputs and outputs, okay? And let's start by writing here output. So this callback and all the callbacks, they're always expecting 2 arguments, an output and an input with this order. So let's pass the output and let's actually make one output, an element that we would like to output. So let's create an HTML, let's say div1. Let's give it an ID of my output. And that's everything. So let's just take this ID that we just gave to it and let's paste it here in the output. And in the output, we also have to provide 2 different things. So the ID of the element that we would like to output something, and in what property or where would we like to output inside this element. So in our case, our div. So we are going to output it in our children element. So basically inside our div. Okay, and this is just like an advice, but I would advise it to pass this argument as a list. So you can have multiple outputs and multiple inputs. So I would advise you always to pass it as a list. And that's also because if you don't pass an input as a list, you're going to receive an error. So it's a bit weird, but just stick with it and you'll have no problem. So as you remember, the next argument is the input. And our input is just going to be our button. So let's copy the ID. Again, we have to provide the ID. And we have to provide the property that we would like to access. And here we are going to use the n clicks, so the number of clicks. So every time that you click in the button, the Dash is going to store this information in a state. And you can access it like with our input. So every time that this number of clicks changes, our function that we are still going to write is going to be executed. So let's see how that looks like. So now that we have that, let's start by writing a function. And let's just call it clicked output or something. And this function is expecting to receive one input, so the input that we just gave in our callback. So let's name it whatever you want. I'm just calling v for value. And in my function, I want to just print this v. Okay? So let's see what happens. So the flow is, we click in our button, our callback is activated because our number of clicks changed, and this function here is going to be executed. So let's run our dashboard and see that. So yeah, I just have a typo here. It's output. Okay, let's run it again. Let's go there, and we can see that we have an error, right? But more important than that, we have none outputted here. So why is that happening? So the reason is actually very simple. Because when someone enter in your dashboard, this input state is being changed. So the number of clicks, although is none, is being changed from no state to none. So this function here is being activated, right? So we have to deal with that actually. So let's say that if our v equals to none, we would like to do something. And we could do something simple like return an empty list with an empty string, right? And if we execute that again, we can see that nothing is printed and we have no error. So it's an easy way to prevent these nones, but this is not the best practice. Actually, there's something a bit better that we can do to improve it. So if we don't want to return like this empty list, there's an alternative. We can just come get the dash dot exceptions, and we can import something called prevent update from there. Okay, and that's pretty easy. So every time that we have a non-value, we can just raise prevent update, and this is going to work exactly as the same, but in more complex situations, it's actually going to be more useful. So let's go back to our dashboard, and we can see that we have no error, and we can click and nothing happens, and we have an error, of course, but we don't have the none problem anymore. So the next thing to do is to do something with our value. So let's return this value. And just pay attention, because we are going to receive an error. If we return our value right away, we can see that we have another error. So it's saying that it's expecting a list or a tuple, but it got 1. So that means that usually our arguments, they should be returned as lists. Okay? And if you return it as a list, and if you go back to the dashboard, you can now see that we are returning the number of clicks, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the number that you like. So pretty cool. So actually, let's also return like a sentence. So you clicked, and this is an f string times. Okay. So let's go back, and we can see that now every time that you click, our dashboard is now interactive, and you have like a message or like a new element saying you clicked 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, whatever, right? So pretty easy, but the entire flow is that you click in the button, and clicking in the button is making the nClicks property changes. And every time you change this property, the callback is actually calling this function and executing it. Okay? And if you're calling this function, you're passing the value nClicks as an argument, and then you're just returning it somewhere, like to our output. Okay? Hope that makes sense for you. If it doesn't, just leave some comments and I will try to answer them.